When last we left our intrepid adventurers, we'd stuck a spear into Korblund's face, and that made undead happen.
Yeah, the machine went berserk, and it started clearly charging up, and Korblund was invulnerable for a round, and then all of a sudden the energy released, and a whole bunch of undead spawned, and he was vulnerable again.
Right.
And I was basically going around rolling a dice to see how many spawned, and lots of them spawned, and there was a ton of zombies.
Which are crappy minions, so we weren't too concerned about the zombies. But there were these mummy things.
Yeah.
There was some mummies. There were these skeletons that had this weird thing where they, I don't know.
I guess we can just describe it.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, it's sort of, I don't remember how everything so I guess we can just describe how they each did their thing.
Yeah. So the zombies are just zombies.
They're really slow, too. I don't know if one ever hit one of the party members. They did hit some Warforged, because they were indiscriminate who they were attacking.
Yeah.
But they were very slow, and they were minions, so they died very quickly.
Yeah. They were mainly just in the way. There were these skeletons that they'd run up to you and then explode. And then if you got hit by the explosion, which was this big area...
It was they exploded into bone shards, so like this horrible explosion of bone shards that swirled around.
Mm-hmm. And they could the shards would nail you to the ground. So you were immobilized, stunned, something like that?
Thank you.
I think it was immobilized. Yeah,
yes.
Immobilized. Which wasn't a huge problem because I still had a ton of ways to teleport. So I got nailed down by them. I think I still am actually technically nailed down by those. I didn't roll a save at the end of my last round. I need to do that. But anyway.
Everyone was so excited because they're like, oh good, the skeleton exploded and he died. But then all his bones reformed. And you can you can reform anywhere that's within the blast, or burst actually. So it's actually pretty awesome. He runs in, explodes, and then teleports to practically anywhere on the board.
Yeah.
I have a if it's dwarf, he is long enough, his spear throws so heavy that he can't move. Is he immobilized to shave ends?
We'll trim that out. Anyway, the mummies, I think they just had this were they the ones that did the...
They did the shrieking. So they were the ones that just hovered and didn't move at all. And would just hover towards you. And then they did this horrible shriek that did a bunch of psychic damage. And it was, what did that stuff do? That was the stuff that dazed everyone, I think. It was pretty brutal.
Yeah. The shades were the worst.
They just kind of creepily floated towards you and then screamed at you.
But then there were the shades, and those things are the worst. They are catastrophic undead. What were some of their things? They could shadow step at will, so they were just teleporting around. They had this thing, they tried to make you excuse me, it wasn't a dominate, it was they'd hit you and then make you hit someone else.
Okay.
John's using our trick against us.
Yeah.
And then
you see the shadow moving in this creepy way and you're like, what's going on? Attack someone.
Yeah.
I don't know, some horror movie BS.
Yeah, and then if they miss you or something, then you take 60 necrotic ongoing.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's if they hit you, they have to hit. And if they hit, you have to attack your ally with an at will of their choice.
Right.
And if you miss that attack, you take massive ongoing damage.
60 ongoing, yes.
So...
Yeah. Who was I provoked into attacking? They got Cricket to attack someone.
Yeah, they got Cricket to attack Gerard, I think.
Yeah, and I think I just shot him.
Yeah, and I was actually hoping you'd miss, but you didn't.
Yeah, so...
And the other thing is, when they shadow step through you, you have to make a death save. So not like a save or die, but you make one of your 3 death saves and you fail, you've got your 3... You've only got 3 strikes for the day, right?
Yeah.
Now, people don't often make death saves at this point, but still, it's a little freaky losing your death saves. Right?
Yeah.
That's a good way to make it, feel chilly, right? You're like, ooh, something passed through me, I'm closer to death now. Yeah.
So, there was a round or two of us, fighting undead, and it was sort of nasty. And then the main challenge that we're facing is not exactly the undead. I mean, they're tough, but normally we'd mop the floor with them. Mm-hmm. Normally we'd have some dailies and encounters left. We're really running low on those things.
Yeah, it's nice to see the party worrying.
Yeah.
You
I was
lost all the
I was
dailies.
like, oh, they're scared. Finally.
We used a bunch on those worms, and that turned out to be a waste. But we have husbanded a few little resources, and so after a bunch of undead had come swarming out, I decided to use one of my last remaining encounter powers, Frenzied Rhythm. That's that awesome one that it's like a burst 5, and it slides all the targets, the enemies I hit 5, and then they can do an attack. So I had all the undead just swarm Korblund.
Because he was vulnerable this round.
Yeah, and I felt it was very apt, you know. The necromancer summons all these undead, and then they turn on him. And so that bunched them all up around Korblund, except the Shades, who had ranged attacks, so I had them attack from a distance.
So it doesn't really seem like he's summoning them per se, because it looks like, if anything, this is painful for him. The machine is just doing its thing. Not that invalidates what you're saying, I just want to make that
Also, over the course of the fight, Croesus stabbed Korblund in the face twice more.
Yeah, because it was coup de grace, he always critted, and he kept rolling face over and over. So he's just stabbing him in the face with his spear over and over again.
So, yeah, I had the undead all, you know, do tons of attacks on Korblund. And then it was Serendipity's turn, and she had a thing that would let things do attacks. And they were all bunched around Korblund already. So she basically just had them all attack Korblund again. And then she did this thing that let her redo that attack. So in total, the undead all just mobbed Korblund and attacked him 3 times. It did a lot of damage.
Massive. But he wasn't bloodied yet, and this was really scaring them. I mean, he's totally defenseless, but he is also a level 40 solo, so...
Yeah. I've used up, at this point, basically everything. I still have Timeless Check and Mithrendane in my back pocket. But I've used up all my Majestic Words. I've used up all my dailies and my encounters. I'm basically down to my Potion Bandolier for healing. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to basically switch over to healer mode next round. Which should be interesting because I have, like, mage hands up the wazoo. So I'm going to just be floating healing potions all over the place.
Is that where the fight ended? Just like...
Yeah, Croesus instead of Korblund. Some other people did stuff as well.
Yeah, I mean, there was...
I remember my own the most, of course.
Serendipity did a massive chain lightning. After one round, Korblund, the machine started charging up again, and Korblund became invulnerable again. And then they fought the undead, and then it released another batch of undead. And now, like, the undead are now appearing faster than they can kill them. But during that round, something happened. Oh, everyone readied an action for when he became vulnerable or something.
Yeah.
And everyone attacked him, and finally Korblund was bloodied. And then...
Did he get more than bloodied?
Yeah,
he's like the quarter.
Yes, I don't know. So people like super unloaded on him somehow, and he got down to a quarter health, which I noted that he was now. If he was a boss, his bar would now be turning yellow or red or whatever. It turns out a quarter.
Yeah.
But
so I figure our strategy next session should be just sort of endure the undead for a round or two. How long does it take to charge? A round?
That's
just a round. So basically
mitigate,
and then when Korblund goes vulnerable, see if we can take him down that round.
They have determined that if they kill him, the undead will all die. So
what are the Warforged doing?
Dying.
Yeah, they're mostly being killed by undead. I think they're all dead by now.
And there's still one left.
Maybe there's one left.
Yeah. I think it's my buddy.
I'll protect you.
But yeah, even if it didn't kill the undead, we could still kill Korblund and then bug out.
Can you smash the machine at all?
It's invulnerable when Korblund is invulnerable.
You might be able to smash parts of it, but...
Throw a wrench in the gears and then it grinds to a halt.
Yeah.
You might be able to break parts of it, but that would just be kind of like, you'd be breaking one undead spawner, basically. Not worth it.
Yeah. Korblund is the key component. And we would like to kill him anyway, so, yeah. Nobody likes Korblund.
One of you is highly incentivized to do so.
Oh, yes.
He keeps advertising. The ultimate ad blocker. Kill the guy sending the ads.
Well, I want the technology behind this soul antenna. For the greater good, of course.
Greater good.
There are tons of things that could be done with it that is actually good. But I am resigned to the notion that the party is going to smashy whatever they can. So I'll just have to take what notes I can, and then maybe later on open a time portal and study it through that.
Literally what I was thinking too. Hey, you can just come back, be invisible, and study it.
I have insane stealth. Absolutely insane.
Steal Korblund so you can use him to power it, and then just impersonate him in there. Bluff die.
You can't die.
Yep.
Oh, I'm at a quarter health. Oh.
Another person becomes Cricket.
Oh, I'm permanently blinded.
No, I don't mind killing Korblund because he's awful. I'll find some other way to power it.
I don't think Korblund's enjoying it, so.
Whether he's enjoying it or not, he could potentially get out of there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where things stand. It's a really close fight. If we can hold out next round against all these undead, I think we have a good chance of winning. Mm-hmm. But it's tight. If I timeless track Korblund, do all the undead die?
No.
Cricket, that was a really good idea. I'm going to do that too.